So, Biosetup Life Sciences is a hub for scientific research and learning. We're an ISO 9001:2015 certified organization committed to supporting aspiring students in life sciences through workshops, certification courses, and career counseling. We are honored to have the founder of Biosetup Life Sciences, Mr. Orgudip Das sir, whose vision has driven our mission to elevate student careers. This session is a part of the webinar series at Biostop Life Sciences, and for some of you, it's an extension of the Yukti Soft Skill Development Internship, uh, which was also powered by Biostop Life Sciences. So, the main motive of bringing these sessions to you is to bring you stories that go beyond textbooks, stories that stay with you and spark something real. Now, it's my absolute pleasure to introduce a very good friend of mine. He has mastered the fine art of balancing passion and discipline. Saptak. Saptak is a classical pianist and harmonium player known for his innovative approach to adapting Indian classical music to the piano. He has performed across the country, captivating audiences with his unique blend of raga based music and Western harmonic ideas. His vision goes beyond just performance. He is also actively researching the role of keyboard instruments in Indian classical music, aiming to bridge tradition with modern harmonic possibilities. Beyond music, Shoptalk's academic achievements are absolutely as remarkable. He is a gold medalist from Jadavpur University's class of 2024. He topped the English department with a stellar 9.8 CGPA. He has proved that dedication, smart time management, and passion can lead to excellence in multiple fields. His deep rooted connection to music comes naturally. Shoptak was born to musical parents, sitarist Amzad Hussain of the Vilayat Khani Gharana and Khayal singer Manali Bose of the Kirana Gharana. He was raised in a world of melody, rhythm, and artistic expression, which laid the foundation for his exceptional journey in music. His formal music education reflects this rich heritage. He holds a Sangeet Prabhakar sixth year certification in synthesizer from Prayag Sangeet Samiti, which is equivalent to a bachelor's in music degree. He has also completed Sangeet Prabhakar sixth year in tabla from the same institution. Additionally, he also hold a grade 8 piano distinction from Trinity College London, further demonstrating his command over both Indian and Western classical music. And of course, he is an accomplished harmonium player deeply rooted in Indian classical traditions. As of current times, Shoptak is also working on the piano Baj, which is a groundbreaking project that explores the history, technique, and role of keyboard instruments in Indian classical music. Through this research, he is advocating for the use of harmonic structures and chords in raga performance on the piano, breaking new grounds in the field. Currently, he is also pursuing his master's in English at Jadavpur University, where he is delving into music production, arrangement, and modern instrumentation to expand his artistic horizons. Today, he's here to share his journey of balancing dreams and deadlines, how he successfully managed the demands of academia while staying committed to his craft. And I have absolutely no doubt that these insights will be incredibly valuable for anyone striving to pursue multiple passions. Please join me in welcoming our tonight's keynote speaker, Shoptak. And yes, Shoptak, over to you. A
Good
warm
evening, everyone, and thank you, Agnish, for the warm welcome. Am I audible properly?
yes, you are audible.
Thank you. So, yeah, once again, good evening and hello, fellow dreamers. Hope you're all doing well. It's fine with me. Firstly, I'd like to thank the entire organizing committee of Biosetup Life Sciences who have painstakingly put together this long internship training program for all of you. I genuinely hope the events and modules helped you grow in some way. And of course, thanks to Agnish for deeming me worthy of speaking on this special topic. Although he's been far too kind in introducing me, we have known each other since school days, and I love the way we have stuck through, despite the different directions life has led us into. So now, while preparing for today's evening, I thought about various ways I could have started. Please confirm. Am I audible now? Hello? No?
Yes, you are audible, Saptak.
Thank you. Yeah. 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 Sorry for the interruption. You can see my video too, right?
Yes, I can hear.
Great. Thank you. Yeah. So where was I? Yeah. I was speaking about, what I will be speaking about today after all is about these 3 years which I spent, and you could call it struggle, pain, or growth, whatever you would like to call it. But all these years at Jadavpur University, pursuing my undergraduate degree in English, has gone by in a sort of haze. Like in the movies, a montage of frames goes by. And when I think back, what comes to mind are just images, snapshots in time. And we'll walk through some of them today, but let me say this, it's really hard to talk about something when you are still living it. I'm saying this because when we studied postmodernism in my final year, so I came across this idea that it's impossible to narrate life while living it. So I give you a minute to ponder upon it. You can't live life and talk about it at the same time because you need distance, some critical distance. You need to get to the other side of the mountain before you describe how the climb was. So you need a vantage point, which is what I'm trying to say. And what we are trying to create, what I'm trying to create at least in this evening, is to create that vantage point. But then again, the question creeps in, would I have done things differently if I had another shot? Maybe. Maybe when I'm 60, 70, I sit on a veranda and somewhere and think, you should have taken a different road. Just like Robert Frost wrote in The Road Not Taken, the famous lines, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by. And that has made all the difference. Now, that quote has followed me for years, haunted me even, because you don't know whether the road you're on is the road until years later. Right now, when I look back, 2 or 3 years may feel short in the grand scheme of life, but they are the years that sculpted me. There are things in my personal life, my academic career, my musical life, I could probably have done better. Yeah. Now, as I think about it, probably yes. But do I regret anything? No, not a single thing. And I shall regret nothing because life has actually been very kind to me, and I'm thankful to the Almighty for every moment of it. Actually, life has been very kind because I was born into music. And I'm not saying this metaphorically, into music. I mean it literally. I grew up in a house where alap and tans floated through the rooms before breakfast. My father, who is also my guru, is a sitarist composer. My mom is a Hindustani classical singer. My grandfather also teaches classical vocal music. So music wasn't a subject we studied. It was the air we lived in. So every time I woke up, every time I went for a stroll, it was someone practicing, someone playing, someone singing, someone learning, students. So it was a really, what you can say, a kind of a very artistic environment. And that has kind of shaped me always. So despite all of this, I didn't pursue a degree in music. Now, why is that? Now, this is not because I didn't want, but because in this country, formal music education still faces many challenges: rigid syllabi, poor infrastructure, lack of exposure, and especially for someone like me, a classical pianist, especially Western instruments, piano, guitar, and the like. So I'd probably end up learning the wrong genre from the wrong teacher in the wrong room on the wrong instrument. It's simply not viable yet. So, like many others, I took what seemed like the safer road. English literature, a subject I adore, but one that also offered me stability, a path that society wouldn't question, a path where relatives wouldn't raise an eyebrow when reading such. So, because let's be real, many of us, especially those of us dreaming of a career in the arts, end up using academia as both a safety net and a compromise. Now, it's a backup plan, the thing you can rely on if the dream doesn't quite materialize. That 9 to 5 that keeps the lights on when the art doesn't. See, but here's the thing, it's not always a choice between one of them. Sometimes you can do both. And today, I want to talk about balance, balancing your academics with a passion, or in my case, a full blown parallel career. Now, it's tricky. If your goal is to become a professor, you should focus on academia. If you want to be a lawyer, you study law, a doctor, medical college, obviously. Now, when you are an artist, especially in India, things get a little complicated. Now, I'll try to offer you some practical advice, not a magical formula. There's no one size fits all pathway. You'll need to tailor what I say to fit your unique story. But maybe, just maybe, by the end of this talk, we'll break this myth that academic pressure has to kill your passion. And before I go further, I'd actually like to hear from you now. Now, all of you who are joined here today. So, what about you? What do you want to be best at? The one thing that keeps you sleepless at 3 a.m. Which you really want to pursue, which you really want to become. Besides what you are doing, as part of a established curriculum or infrastructure. Despite that, what are your passions that you would like to explore in the future? Would someone like to volunteer, please?
Dear students, please feel free to engage from your end and feel free to unmute yourselves as well.
I think, Agnes, you told me some of our were is quite interested in social media, right? So do we have some people here also today?
Yeah, I think Srija is Srija asked me about kind of a professional social media platform, which is LinkedIn.
Yeah.
There are few students who are here who kind of you know want to go into the public like public
Like the public
pub-
relations, PR.
public relations, and
Yeah, yeah.
Sophia wants to pursue her PhD from the US. Uh,
Wow.
am am
Wow.
I am I right, Sophia? I guess.
Yes, sir. Hello,
Hello.
everyone.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, sir. So, yeah, my dream, my passion is what I am pursuing currently, not different from that. And I'm
Yeah,
happy that my parents
yeah,
have
great.
supported me, like seriously. My dream to study abroad, dream to do my master's and PhD from cancer. So all of this has, I'm going to pursue it in fact, future in
Yeah,
few months maybe, but yes, I have followed it. And my parents, actually it's a big thing, parents, your
really.
family needs to support you, and they
100%.
did. Other than
Yes,
that, as a girl, as I said, your environment is necessary, support is necessary, because as a
yes.
boy, in India especially, you can stand against your parents, or you can convince them, but
Indeed,
as a girl it's not possible. They
indeed,
may come up like,
indeed.
no, you just have to finish your studies, you should get married or something else.
Totally,
And
yeah.
here, whoever is there, we are from a current generation, so I would really like to say this: be someone, who will bring good in others life. Who, whenever you get
Great.
married, or you start a family, be an helpful parent, understand your kids, what's happening in India these days. Uh, even educated people do not support their kids, and many, we see in news that kids undergo, depressed, very
Depression, yeah.
small kids,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
teenagers, they undergo
yeah,
depression,
yeah.
think the life may be on Instagram or social media or anything else. They are not able to express their views to their parents. So my goal, my life, and whatever I tell to people
Yeah,
around me, my friends,
yeah.
is that when you are educated, not only studying or getting a degree is important. Just understanding is not important. Education is different from literacy, right? We are not literate, we are educated.
Same.
One needs to be
100%.
educated, and
Totally agree.
always be helpful and understanding, and do not just think from your perspective. Try to understand others' perspective and be
Yeah,
helpful.
yeah.
Life is just, life gets easy when you're helpful and understanding. It's just, this is just a life we are living. If it's a game, means it's just a, if we consider it as a game, we're just players. Someday it may end. What remains is your good nature with you and your support to others. Next, the hereafter is what is left, and that is very important. So, that's the motive,
Totally.
and I would really always speak to people with that motive and want to spread that message. So I found this platform this today. I spoke out my thoughts. I may be
Thank you
wrong,
so much.
but
No, you are not wrong at all. And thank you so much for this note today. You really made the evening. You set the mood. And I really, I just need to build up on that tone right now. I don't have to think anything more because you have really covered everything that I like to agree also. And especially when you see to today's world, really what happens if you look around the countries, if you look at politics, if you look at news, everyone are really, they are really interested in their own interest. Then don't look from others' perspective, right? So yeah, yeah. So they can do anything for furthering their interest, for furthering their goals, but they don't really even care if they're cutting trees, if they're destroying other people's lives, right? Warfare everywhere,
yeah,
deforestation, and you look everywhere, and this actually probably are we even furthering as a nation, as a generation? Are we even going forward or going backward? We keep asking these questions because yeah, and that point which you are already have covered, that education doesn't mean getting degrees at all. That
yeah.
is that is the point.
And also, it's necessary. As educated, we are the future of our country. So we getting, distracted is, I think, I wouldn't use this word, but illogical or shameful is something I would put this, because as an youth we need to understand what's happening, right?
Yeah,
Just doing that way is not necessary. And also, the what's happening, rape cases and all, this is not this a platform I think we need to speak about, but still,
Yeah,
as
still,
youth
of
we
course.
are here, so I am just putting my thoughts on. We just, I would just say, think before you do something.
Always.
That's it. And thank you. I hope
Thank you.
really it made a mood. You said, as you said.
Yeah, I really hope you follow your dreams and you really become really successful. You know, all your dreams may come true very quickly.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. So, yeah, would anyone else like to share something, or we can go forward?
Hey, hi, Saptak. It's been a great like interaction going on tonight. So,
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I have heard what I have heard about you from Agnish is that you have done a lot of things. Like you are doing a lot of things parallelly. Uh, maybe like from academia perspective or like the music you are doing. It sounds so great. Okay, and I have like, although I am from a science background,
Yeah.
I have been from that from all of my life.
Mm,
I have never been quite exceptional in anything. I am just average. I have been always an average student in maybe science, and parallelly I write things like in Bengali or English. It's very messy. It's very amateur, but I try to write things. And right now I'm with BSL as microblogger. So my question is that one thing I have struggled all my life, and I'm still struggling, is how you manage your timeline. Like time management is a very tough thing for me.
yes,
So
indeed.
how do you do that?
Yes, I mean the entire talk, the topic of my talk will bother around that. So, so you can just really sit tight and listen to my talk, maybe. So but what you said that your goals that you write, and you are all also a microblogger right now, and I would say that never feel that you are, not there yet. You'll get there. You'll get there. Of course, you'll get there, and you have to keep at it. I mean, that's the three magic word: keep at it. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. You have to keep chiseling it. I heard Javed Akhtar. I really love Javed Akhtar, and he really spoke about this. That even he began when he first wanted to write something. You keep tearing those pages. You keep writing one page. You don't like it. You throw it away. Second page you write, throw it away. Third page, maybe you tear half the page. Now fourth page, maybe something makes sense. From after you've written 10 pages, then maybe you have got your ideas in place, and you keep, and next time, maybe you tear less pages. But that just comes through the flow, and that flow will take time, because that is art. That is art. It doesn't just come from some divine inspiration. Maybe yes, it comes from divine inspiration, but then to keep at it, to be a true artist, you have to keep doing it, and that is the true mantra, actually. And yes, time management, I will come to that. I'll be speaking a lot about that. So thank you.
Yeah, sure, sure, sure.
So yeah. So if anyone else wants to share something, or else we can continue.
I think so
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
introduction. I'm the
yeah,
I'm the timekeeper here.
yeah. Sure, sure. Yeah, please do
So
your job properly, Agnish.
I think we can proceed forward, and
Sure, sure.
then we'll be coming back to this discussion.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So something Sophia started with, the background, your environment at your home. That is really important, and she already touched upon that, and I'd like to build upon that. For my perspective, I was born into a musical family, three generations deep in Indian classical music. I'm the fourth. So I can tell you this, that environment matters immensely. Imagine concentric circles around. At the center is you, then your family, then friends, mentors, community, your country, the world. It keeps going, of course, and ending with the world. Now, the first layer, your family, is crucial. A supportive home where you can talk about your passions and people listen is underrated. Now, someone who will say, "Oh, সব music ঠিক আছে, সামনে exam পড়তে বস." No, I was lucky. I grew up in a space where expression was encouraged, where silence was respected, where struggles were acknowledged, not mocked. And I carry that with me. But it wasn't smooth. When I first came to Jadavpur University, I was, we can say, tired, very tired. Drained from 2 years of lockdown, drained from a chaotic board exam system that had handed me a percentage instead of a proper score, and mostly, drained of hope because my name didn't appear on the first list or the second list. I think there was a third list also. I didn't get my name. I still remember that feeling, empty, total emptiness. Like the last train had left the platform, and I hadn't even known it was coming. And English was my only real shot, really, because I didn't really try for any other subjects, no backup plan. Yeah, I applied to my school's college, St. Xavier's College, Burdwan. So, and almost completed my admission process there. And suddenly, JU released a new wish list. Now, that was a new thing for JU. It never released it before or never released it after that also. And I applied there. Some freak of nature I got in because everything that shaped me into who I am today, my falls, my rises, my art, my choices, it unfolded here in this campus, under these trees, beside these walls. I'll break to you some of the story. In the first semester, we were still online, but even though through a laptop screen, I could feel this place was a little different. This was a space where ideas were sacred, where protest lived on the walls, poetry in the air. Here Blake, Wordsworth, Coleridge, they were not just syllabus names. These voices echoed inside. Now, the first semester lulled me into a strange comfort. Kind professors, manageable assignments, and that cozy school-like illusion. Then the second semester hit. Offline classes started, and reality walked. Hectic schedules, professors with higher expectations, internal exams that didn't go well. Actually, they were pretty bad. Didn't go well is an understatement. I remember scoring, in one paper I scored 11.5 out of 20, and that was half. 5.5 out of 10, that was half. And that number etched itself into my head. Now, I started questioning everything from that point, my writing, my thinking, and even my decision to be here. And right in the middle of all of this, I was also doing something that no one really saw during class. I was performing, of course. And music had always been with me. But now, even as I navigated through lectures and assignments, I was out there playing piano and harmonium across the city and the country. And I performed at college events, yes, but also far beyond it. I toured across Bengal, you could say, in these 3 years. I played at State Bengal Music Academy Conference in Chandanagar. I did many classical concerts in Calcutta, even traveled to Miraj and Kullu with my mother, performing in front of completely new audiences. Now, there were even times when I was in a Good Morning Akash, there's a program in Akashar channel. There's a live telecast early morning, 6 a.m. And then I went there to record that episode with my mom. I played the keyboard. And then ran back to write an internal exam at 12 p.m. in the college. Same day. For that show, I had prepared all the preludes, all the interludes with my mom. All those different songs, scripting the entire flow of music, rehearsing till midnight. Still somehow managing to switch back into academic mode. In that exam, I scored actually 8 out of 10, and that was the highest. And in that moment, I realized I didn't want to give up on either. But by 2022, life wasn't just about juggling music and exams. I'll not speak like I was out of the system. I was also facing what every 20-something faces at some point: heartbreak, confusion, self-doubt, the blinding noise of choices, a new city, into wrong terms, the kind of emotional mess that teaches you more than any curriculum ever could. And yes, I needed it. I needed to fall. One night, I cried myself to sleep. Now I'm laughing about it, but one night I cried myself to sleep, and that was my rock. Now, here's the thing, no one tells you. There's no switch that flips and fixes you. नहीं आज से मैं बदल गया moment, सब बदल गया, हवा बदल गया. नहीं, it takes time, a quiet kind of strength and vision. And I had just one vision: to try again. So, second year came, and I began picking up the pieces slowly, bit by bit. I worked, I read, I listened, and I tried to write better, not just for marks, to really express something. I tried to find out my style, to say something that mattered. And then, suddenly someone told me that I talked. Now, I didn't believe it at first. I didn't believe it at all. Later, after some months, I received a mail and I was to get the second year medal for that. But yeah, more than the number, more than the recognition, something shifted inside. a voice that had always been quiet started to speak loud. By third year, I was different, a little wiser, a little lonelier, maybe, but focused. I subtracted a lot of people, a lot of things, a lot of people from my life. So I focused on what mattered, my music, my studies, and my sense of self. And somewhere in that silence, a wild thought appeared. What if I put in the, final medal going? Now, JU doesn't have valedictorians. The speech you see in US universities, valedictorian, but I used to imagine one. I used to pace the terrace and whisper fake speeches at night. I used to dream it. Now, not out of ego, not out of overconfidence, but because I wanted that medal. Not for me, for someone else, for my father. And my father is a man who has seen far too many stages taken from him. A man who gave up too much to let me walk the road he never could. A man who quietly, patiently carried a legacy of brilliance, but never got the spotlight he deserved. And I wanted that medal for him. And yes, I know one day when I truly do something big in my musical career, Godspeed, when I compose something timeless, when I play for a packed house somewhere far away, his pride will be immeasurable. But on December 24th, I could say, 2024, when I walked down from that stage with the gold medal in my hand, and I saw my father shed a tear, just one. And I knew I had done something that mattered. You don't see him cry. You just don't. No. So that was enough for now. So to everyone who are listening today, so if you're sitting here listening to this, wondering if your mess will ever make sense, let me tell you, it will. It will, just not in the way you expect, because life isn't linear. It's not supposed to be. You will fail. And sometimes you will be a genius on stage and feel like an imposter in class, or vice versa. But don't give up on that version of you that wants more. The one that dreams big. Even when the lights are out, nurture it, fight for it, build around it. And yeah, my story is my story. It's never going to be the same for you. Maybe some parts will feel familiar, relatable, maybe none at all. That's perfectly fine. I don't want you to fight to be like me. You shouldn't, because your struggles are your own and your own only. So your dreams, your goals, your journey. But what I do want you to take away from this session are some small, deceptively simple things that can make a big difference. So let's start with the first one. Probably the most important is have a vision, a clear-cut vision. And I like to 4 questions. Mention it by 4 questions. Know who you are and where you are. Now these are the 2 questions, and these are the present version or the future version. Know who you want to be and where you want to be. 4 questions. So these 4 questions, if you can answer them honestly, you're ahead of most people already. I have met so many who haven't figured this out. They don't know why they're doing something, what they're doing, where they're heading, and they definitely don't have a plan B. But everything stems from these 4 questions. Who am I? Where am I? Who do I want to be? And where do I want to go? So if you've got a dream, great. Now ask, what if this dream doesn't work out? Do I have a backup plan? Is this dream even mine? Or am I borrowing someone else's? What are my advantages, my disadvantages? Now, this comes later. Life planning isn't something we are usually taught. Ideally, your parents would help you out with that. And I was lucky to have that kind of support, as I mentioned earlier, but regardless of the circumstances, it all begins with the dream. And hey, before you follow a dream, make sure you actually have one. It's like that joke. Do I have a soulmate? You've seen this reel? Do I have a soulmate? Hold up. First ask, do I have a soul? So yeah, suppose you want to be the next Picasso, then say it. Look into the mirror every morning and say, I'll be the greatest painter of the generation. There will be no one who comes close. It sounds cringe, of course, but it's not cringe. It's not a movie scene. It's your life. There's a nice term for this, although it's not mine. It's borrowed from Stephen Greenblatt. It's a literary scholar. He used it in a completely different context, but the term is self-fashioning. Self-fashioning. And this is what you're doing, basically. Crafting the self you want to become. You're not there yet, but you keep telling yourself that you are there. I do this too. I look into the mirror and say, I'll be the best musician I know. Now, will that ever happen? Maybe not, but it's the thought. It's the thought that counts. It's a law of attraction. You trick your brain into choosing to be that version of yourself. And that vision needs to be 101% inside you. Even if you never get there, you have to believe you will. Because belief feeds motivation and motivation feeds action. So yeah, get up every morning and tell yourself, I'll go there. I've got time. I'll do something great. And you are not short on time. You are not short on resources. You are just short on belief. And belief, my friend, is linear. You just have to regenerate. You do this in the morning and do this at night before sleeping also. End the day with something like today was a good day. I did something positive. Tomorrow I'll do more. So this is point one, to have a vision. So moving on to point two. Once you've figured out your vision, who you are, what you want to be, and all that jazz, you can finally begin to think about how. Now, in my case, I have always been tangled in the academic whirlwind of Jadavpur University. It's messy. Trust me, it gets wild. But even in the worst branches, I never gave up practice. That's the thing. Even during peak exam season, I'd sneak in at least an hour of piano practice. Now, that has always been my lifestyle. Even during my ICSE boards, you can ask my dad. I was dragging him from one room to the another mid revision. Teach me. Yeah, someone is saying something. Hello. I couldn't hear you. Pardon?
I think that was
accidental unmute. Yeah. No problem. Yeah. So I was saying about my ICC board, yeah, which I gave with Agnish, right? So he can confirm. And I was dragging my dad, even between exams. In the exam breaks, I was dragging my dad from one room to the other and teach me this. And what's that chord? What's that rag? Can I play that? I never stopped playing because it wasn't a hobby for me. It was love. It was me. From a very young age, thanks to my parents, especially my dad, I could always see myself inside that instrument. It felt like home. Still does, but here's where I want to bust a myth that's everywhere. There's no time. Now, this myth, I've heard it countless times. And how many times have you heard that? And how many times have you said that? So be honest. Sure, life is demanding. Society's rat race doesn't leave room for co-curriculars. You blink, and suddenly you are being compared to Sharmaji Ka Beta, and your guitar is gathering dust. Let's be real. Let's be real for once. Tell yourself, you could have made time. You know it. If your passion was your partner, I mean your significant other, your love interest, would you ghost them for days? Would you go silent and not even a hi? How are you? What are you doing? Have you ate? No. I mean, some people can't even handle a 1 hour delay in replies. I know people like that. Now, imagine your passion could text you. How many missed calls do you think that dusty keyboard has given you? That sketchbook in the cupboard, that dance choreography saved in your reels. You didn't lack time. I would say you lacked love. Because if you truly love something, you make time. You create energy out of thin air. Now, conservation of energy speaks about can't be created and all that thing. Can't be created, can't be destroyed. No, love produces energy. When you are dead tired, somehow you'll still practice, still write, still create, draw, whatever. And science backs this too. Pursuing a passion actively reduces stress, improves memory, boosts productivity. You see millions of articles on this. Music therapy is now a full-fledged field. Art is healing, and creative hobbies are not a waste of time. Remember that. They are a reset button. Take Albert Einstein, the man who literally changed how we understand the universe. You can see there are many pictures available online of him playing the violin. He played the violin regularly. He even said, if I were not a physicist, I'd probably be a musician. Now, that wasn't just a flex, it was his way of finding peace, of staying sharp. So yeah, even if you're planning to be single-minded in your career, pick one thing on the side that you love. That one passion you hold on to will help your main quest, not indulge. Because when you are choosing your passion, you are choosing yourself. Choose yourself. Don't lie to yourself. You know you could have managed, you still can. In my case, music was never just something I did. It became my life. And somehow, by some cosmic joke or miracle, I was meant to juggle two full-time careers, music and academics. For the longest time, there was no ranking, no music first, studies second. They were both number one. Yeah, right now, if you ask me, I have made that choice. I've put music on number one. Studies have come down in priority. But eventually, you will have to make that choice too. And you will come to that. But if you are in this messy transition, like I was, trying to keep both afloat, remember this first, that the secret sauce isn't in strategy, it's in the love. That love, the kind of love that outlasts exhaustion, that stays even when everything else crashes. Hold on to that, like this. Hold on to that. That's what will carry you through the chaos. And I can promise you that it will. So now we'll talk about the elephant in the room, the strategy. Hopefully, I can attempt to finally answer this. How of it all? How do you actually balance both things? Start with one of the most powerful tools in the game, the art of saying no. Very simple, right? Now, saying no is a craft, my friend. Don't be fooled. It's like stealth mode for your time and energy. You have to be selective because, let's face it, you'll have to say no a lot to people, to events, to temptations, to distractions, to Netflix binge marathons, to that one friend who calls you at 1 a.m. ভাই এটা শোন এটা কি হলো one quick আড্ডা ভাই শোন শোন এটা কি হয়েছে আমাকে বলবে শোন somehow that lasts 3 hours and ends up with you watching memes at 3 a.m. We have all been there. We have all been there. Now this is a very misunderstood 9-letter word. SACRIFICE. Sacrifice. We often romanticize sacrifice, make it sound noble and poetic, but in real life, it's not always pretty. It's missing out on parties, turning down hangouts, sitting in your room practicing while everyone's kind of living their best life somewhat. This is exactly where most people tap out. Why? Because either they don't love their dream enough to give up the other stuff, or they just can't say no. They give in to peer pressure, FOMO, fear of missing out, to that sneaky dopamine hit. I had to say a lot of no's too. And it wasn't easy. It was never easy. And when I say friends, by the way, I use the word very carefully. I've had classmates, companions, people I've vibed with, but true friends, that's a special circle. And I'm grateful that mine understood me. They got it when I said, hey, I can't make it today, or I'll be late, or I might have to come back early. They never guilt tripped me. They stood by me, supported me, and that means the world basically. Because let me be clear, you do need friends. Don't go full Sigma, right? All those Gen Z words and shut everyone out. You can't lock yourself in your room with a bottle of black coffee, some lo-fi beats, and pretend the world doesn't exist. Because sooner or later, you will need people, and they'll need you. Because that's the beauty of life, my friend. Mutual need, support, love, brotherhood, sisterhood, the whole deal, the whole package. Don't suck the life out of life in your pursuit of success. Enjoy it, share it, laugh with your friends, talk about that cutie in the other section, share memes, rant about assignments. Those little joys, they're sacred. But at the same time, please don't overdo it. Because you're on a path, you're chasing something. There will be days when you'll have to choose the shorter route, not the scenic detour. You choose the shorter route. There will be moments when you'll say, not today. And you have to be okay with that. Best-selling author, James Clear, of the book, you can guess it, Atomic Habits. He wrote this line, you do not rise to the level of your goals. Hear that again. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Now you need to make a system. We're talking about time management. Yes, you need a system for that. Now there are a lot of systems, but this one I think works. At least it worked for me. Now you can of course experiment with it. Now this has a fancy name also. It's called the Eisenhower matrix, but it isn't so complicated. It's simple. You divide everything into 4 categories. All right. So 4 categories. One is the red zone, yellow zone, green zone, and black zone. The red zone is urgent and important. So those tasks which are urgent and important, you have to do it now. So you have to do it now. So do it. 2, important but not urgent. You schedule it. 3, urgent but not important. If possible, try to schedule it for later or delegate it. Try to delegate it. Or for neither, delete it. I'll give you an example. So you're doing an assignment, submission is tomorrow. It's urgent and important. You have to do it. For me, important but not urgent. Practice. I practice every day. And of course, if you are pursuing some art, should at least sit for even an hour every day. Try to do it. So that is important, but maybe not that urgent because you have an assignment. So schedule it to complete your assignment, whatever. Then you try to do it. Urgent but not important. Now this is a bit tricky. Maybe someone who is calling you, they want to hear about something that happened at home. But this one you have to use your emotional maturity, your emotional quotient. You have to understand your chemistry with that person, and then decide. Can you postpone it a bit because it's important but not really urgent? So and last, finally, neither. Or watching cat reels, watching dog reels, watching memes. Yeah, and those are not important. Delete it for now. So most of the stuff that eats up your time falls in that last category. So distractions dressed as priorities. Learn to tell them apart, because here's the hard truth: success has no shortcuts. Let me repeat: there are no shortcuts. Talent, sure, it helps. It's like the icing on the cake, but the cake itself, the batter, the foundation, that's just pure hard work. Real, messy, unromantic, unfiltered grind. Whatever your dream is, music, sports, dance, writing, building spaceships, you have to work. You have to practice, you have to study, you have to polish your technique to understand your craft. You have to keep knowing more. You'll fail, you'll get up, you'll repeat. And if you're lucky, and I truly hope you are, you will choose something that you're actually talented in. That's when the real magic happens. That magic something, that talent, and your effort. If those combine in the same field, you get a power combo. No one can stop you. So I urge you, find that one spark. Everyone has it in different fields. Maybe you're good at fashion. Maybe you're good at the medical line, or you're good in gaming, or you're good in public speaking, music. Find it, nurture it, respect it, and most importantly, choose it. Because if you don't choose your passion, the world will choose your distractions. Remember that. So don't sleepwalk through life. Don't be that person lying on their bed at 1 a.m., scrolling through Instagram and wondering, could I have done things differently? No, it's needless to do that. Really useless to do that. Do it now and start now. So, and if you do, expect trade-offs. Barter system, that ancient method, that monetary system, yeah. Now there's a quote I love. Very simple. Easy choices, hard life. Hard choices, easy life. It's fact. If you choose the easy now, you often fail later. If you choose the hard now, you're investing in freedom, in joy, in peace, and pride. So, anyways, I kind of deviated a lot. Coming back, the only request is choose wise. If you're going out with friends, great, enjoy it. But make sure you don't have a deadline, right? Sneaking up on you. Don't blow off your term paper, for a samosa date. That's not it. Evaluate, think, take stock of your situation, use your brain and your heart. Because just because your friends are out there vibing doesn't mean you have to beat yourself up for missing out. You're not missing out, you're building something. You have a vision. And visions demand trade-offs. Why is there so much mediocrity around us? Not because people lack talent. It's not that people lack talent. But because being average is easy. It's safe. You don't have to face failure or growth or discomfort. You don't have to come out of your comfort zone. That's fine. That's what you've done. I totally respect that decision if you choose to be there. But if your soul screams for more, you have got to give more. You have got to live a little differently. I have lived a pretty full student life. Don't be fooled. I have hung out with friends, done group study sessions, went for college fests, skipped classes, freaked out later, pulled all-nighters, pulled each other up. I shared my notes. I've shared my doubts. I've shared my anxieties. I've listened to others' anxieties. I've listened to others' breakup stories. I've done it all. But I've also learned when to say no. I communicated. I've explained. It's not that you have to be rude. You have to cut off friendships. No. You communicate, you explain. And yes, I have had the good fortune of being understood. And if you don't have that, be your own best friend. Be accountable to yourself. It's simple. Learn when to stop, when to lock in. Now, finally, the main work. Now, this depends on you, your mental makeup, your aptitude, how you handle pressure. I know some people who work in extremes. They dive fully into one world for weeks, then completely switch. Like full art mode, they don't study at all for 11 months. They don't study at all. They don't write notes, they do nothing. And then suddenly for 1 month, they fully tip to this side. They still ace it by studying one night before the exam. Now, if you are someone like that, salute, man. If you're one of them, you're a beast. That's not for everyone. Some of us need the middle path. Some of us mortals need the middle path. Now, this is the art of juggling, like a human seesaw, tilting gently from one side to the other, not tipping like crazy. What I did, I'll tell you, during classes, I was consistent. I didn't study too much. I didn't try to read every day what was happening. I tried to stay consistent. How? I went to lectures, attended lectures, and made notes. Not like I was studying. I studied them before the exam, but I made the notes. And I don't know about other subjects. Probably it's a little less. English literature, you need to do research a lot. At least in JU, they really prioritize research work, your thinking. And for that, you have to study a lot. There's a website, I think a lot of you know about it, JSTOR, and all those other stuff, academia.edu, ResearchGate, and all those websites where you get research papers. Now you have to read what other people are thinking. You have to read lots of them, and those are 20 page, 25 page essays. I used to skim through them. I didn't read it word per word. I used to skim through them, but I used to make my notes. I didn't actively memorize it. I invested a certain amount of time, fixed 2 hours of study probably, if I want to do. So I'll just make some notes. I just read, like pleasure reading, nothing serious, and then go back to practice. This was my usual routine, not my exam routine. Okay, so this was my usual routine. So I never switched my art off. I never ghosted my practice. You see the thing, during the exam season, you go full on, but you need to stay consistent in your, in your, at least in your study, and your at least accumulating all this information, because consistency beats intensity in the long. So make your notes early. Don't wait for panic season. Please scan the text, mark the gold, highlight, organize stuff. Use some apps, Notion, OneNote, Google Drive, whatever works. Your future self will really bless you. And right before exams, yeah, go wild. Use that panic adrenaline. Turn on epic music. Pretend you're going to war. Channel your inner Achilles. Let the drama help you. It works. This way, you won't burn out. You'll still have time for Netflix. Yeah, a little gaming, catching up with people, whatever keeps you sane. Do that in your usual time. But you'll stay on track. Yes, you'll stay on track because you're planned. You're prioritized. You said no when it mattered. You said yes to the right things. So yeah, now you can enjoy your time. That's how I've tried to balance both, really. My deadlines and my dreams. And I'm still learning. I'm not at all perfect. I'm not at all perfect. I'm here telling you like I have done it like some Superman. No, I haven't. I have struggled with it. I still struggle with motivation. I keep talking to myself. Some days I feel lazy. And just because I mentioned motivation, we'll kind of end our talk with this final boss fight, motivation. Because you can have the best plan, you can have the best dream, you can have the tightest schedule, the most aesthetic Notion page, but sticking to it, that's where the real beast mode begins. Because our brains are wired for variety. We crave change. We don't think like a machine, keep doing the same thing like binary digits 0001101. No, we are machines. We are human. We get bored. We get tempted. That's okay. But when you are in a, what to say, working for a dream, as the cool kids say, a grind set, whatever that is called, you need to learn out how to shut out the noise. So some things must be done, no matter the need. Not because I love it every day, but because I have to do it. The more you do it, it becomes your second nature. When someone was talking about writing, yeah, it's like writer's block is so common, right? Because it doesn't come to you, but you have to keep trying sometimes. You have to keep trying. Maybe it will become a habit. You have to write. Your brain will tell you, man, I can't do something. I have to write. Maybe it will be bad. It will be bad. But do it. Because you need to make it a habit. Like after class, I come and sit down to play. In the morning before going to college, I sit down to practice. It's not always my fingers work the same. I like what I'm playing. I know I hate my playing sometimes. But I have to do it. Not because I'm bubbling in inspiration, but because it's time. Discipline becomes the override switch, a kind of ritual, consistent, dull maybe, but powerful. Then you reward yourself. Yes. Bribe your own brain. Remember how in childhood our parents used to say, score 90%, you'll get a bicycle. Score 90%, you'll get a highest on that, I'll get you ice cream. You're still that kid inside. You're still that kid inside, just grown up, all the limbs have grown up, whatever, height has gone up. Use that, trick your brain, promise yourself a pastry after practice or a Netflix episode after notes. But now you are the one setting the bait in front of you. You are the one saying, if I do this, I earn that. Now that's how you gamify your life. Here's what Ivan Pavlov, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, Russian physiologist, Ivan Pavlov. Now he rang a bell before feeding dogs. I think you know the experiment, right? So the dog would be invited with some food. He used to come and have the food, but the Pavlov also played a bell. Now he repeated it for a week or for a month. Next time, he didn't give the food. He just played the bell and the dog started salivating. Now, their bodies have learned to expect the reward. Now, this is classical conditioning. Take this idea and apply it to me. Suppose I love to hear good things about myself. I'm being very honest right now, okay? I shouldn't be sharing this, but I love praise. Love to hear someone talk good about me. I think that's a lot of people, but that's my reward, my biscuit, if you want. So you tell me I played well, I'll play better tomorrow. You say that's a beautiful piece, I'll write a better one next. My brain connects hard work with praise, right? Because I have done good, so I've gotten praise. But I've done good because I've practiced. That means practice means praise. So I've connected those two things, right? So it hears the compliment and now you salivate basically, not for food, please, but for excellence, right? You are drawn to excellence. Now, that's how I am training myself. One little gold star at a time. It's not vanity, it's cruel. Even if motivation vanishes, discipline and the little bit of conditioning holds up. And my dad always says this, the secret is in 3D. It's a 3D secret. Desire, dedication, discipline. Now listen, I know it's not always possible. And I already said that you have office days when your body is here, but your mind is on a Goa trip. That's okay. Take breaks. Take cheat days. Once a week, 4 times a month, twice a week, whatever your rhythm is. Please don't burn out. Don't listen to my advice and fall sick the next day. Please eat your food on time, sleep well. If you lose your health, nothing of this matters. Nothing of this matters. None of this matters. You can hustle from a hospital bed, right? Please. So if your strategy is making you anxious, making you sick, it's the wrong strategy. Please change it, fix it, tweak it. Pressure is good. Pressure is good, it keeps you sharp, but pressure cookers explode if left unchecked. So stay steady, not explosive. Here's the biggest hack, which I told you just a little back. Take small chunks, do them every day. Don't try to eat the whole pizza in one bite. Take slices, enjoy the sauce. Your brain will thank you, your body will thank you. Your future self will high five you in the mirror. Be your own cheerleader, be your own coach, and most importantly, be honest with yourself. No delulu. That's what they call, right? Don't live in a fantasy where everything's perfect and you're already the goat without putting in the work. If you ask me between overestimating and underestimating yourself, I'd still pick underestimating, because if you think you are already the best, you'll never grow. You'll never grow. You already reached there. You think you've reached there. What's there more to learn? But if you think you have still got more to learn, you'll actually get some. And hey, if you suck at something, that's great. It means you have got so much room to improve. If you're bad now, you have got the biggest glow up potential. Right? If this is the best you can do, you're here right now. You have got this much to scale, but you're already this good, and just this much to scale. Your glow up won't be that noticeable. Glow up with pride, glow up with glory. Everyone will see, wow, you've changed, man. And also do that, but don't underestimate yourself to the point of hating yourself, please. Self-loathing won't help. I told you, some days your artistic vision reporters on a vacation. Maybe they're in Maldives, sipping coconut water and saying, not today, man. Your rituals don't care. You show up regardless. You sit at the piano, you hum a scale, you put your hands on the keys, and the rest goes. Maybe you sit down to write, like I told you. Write something. Maybe it's not perfect. Something flows. Something is always better than nothing. So yeah, I spoke a lot, but that's the journey basically. Not perfect, not linear, not heroic, just real. Just real. Full of moments that will break you, moments that will build you as it is. No mythical rise, no overnight success, just the quiet, slow burning of becoming. If you're sitting here today, confused, overwhelmed, unsure of what's next, I feel it. And I want you to know you're not lost. You're just on your way. Lord of the Rings, J.R.R. Tolkien, the great of consider. Not all those who wander are lost. Not all those who wander are lost. Damn, didn't that line save me more times than because when the world outside, except my immediate family, when the world outside told me I was wasting time doing music or dreaming too much or thinking too deeply, I still wondered. I still hoped. Somehow like myself. Sometimes all it takes is a random wish list seat on a university notice board to change your entire life. Sometimes it's a bad internal exam. Sometimes it's a wrong note on the piano, a failed relationship, a breakdown at 3 a.m., a heartbreak that teaches you what your heart is really made of. Sometimes it's just a whisper in your head and that says, not yet, not yet, you are not done. Keep going, keep going, keep going. And you keep going. Slowly, quietly, but with purpose. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But by all means, keep thinking. I crawled. I actually crawled through my failures, through the noise, through self-doubt, through loneliness, through imposter syndrome, through broken friendships, through the ghosts of people I thought I'd be. And every step was worth it. Every note I played that no one heard, every heartbreak I didn't deserve, every word I wrote that got marked in red, every damn early morning layers when my fingers didn't cooperate, every whisper of you are not good enough, you are not good enough, that I turned into music. Because then came that day, 24 December 2024, the middle day. I walked off that stage and I looked down into the crowd, and there he was, my father, the man who had taught me music without teaching me a word, who had seen exploitation, closed doors, missed chances, and still gave me his full heart. He stood there and he cried. Just one tear. But that tear held generations of dreams, held everything he never said. That one tear was louder than applause. And in that moment, I knew every wrong note was worth it. Every failed friendship, every lonely night, every invisible effort, all of it worth it because I had done both. I had walked into concerts and classrooms, won applause and high scores, gotten my talim from my ustad, and learned literary theory from the professors. I didn't have to choose one dream. I fought for both and I lived both. So whatever you are chasing, my dear friends, whatever you are chasing, chase it. Please chase it ferociously, tenderly, shamelessly. As Steve Jobs once said, your time is limited. So don't waste it living someone else's life. Find your voice. Break your own rhythm, burn your own path. And when life gives you a stage, however small, however fleeting, take it. Just take it. Stand tall, say your piece, leave a mark. Because we all get that one moment where everything we are makes sense. That one spotlight, that one sentence, that one song, maybe that one speech. So when your moment comes, be ready. Thank you and good night. Keep dreaming loudly.
Thank you for the wonderful talk, Saptak.
Thank you.
We can take some questions now, or anything you want to share. Miracle, you were sharing something before. You can please feel free to unmute yourself and do the same.
You're welcome, Anjana. Thank you so much.
I think if Miracle is not available, we can go with someone else. Like anyone from the audience can unmute yourself.
Now, hopefully, I didn't scare everyone,
So you actually gave a great talk. I think as of the students who were pursuing their Yukti internship, so the first week we had public relations and then igniting the inner spark, and there were several other modules. So mostly I shared with you YouTube videos, but um, we had promised that we'll be bringing you speakers who will be sharing their experiences, and these experiences are stories which will make you understand that you know no one was born with a silver spoon in their mouth. Everyone has to do it. You have to earn it. You have to go. You have to make it through the hard way. And there is kind of like from the talk, there is also a take on that sometimes there will be a support system. You will have a very supporting family. Sometimes you will not, but you can be your own support system, and um, you can choose the the sorrowness of loneliness, or the gratitude of being in the state of solitude, as we can say. So I think from the chat box, I think all of you have all of you had a great uh, time hearing to Shop Talk, and you will definitely have something to carry back home or in your life, since this is virtual. Um, we'll be sharing the recording uh, uh, as there was some network issues from my end and yeah, from the platform. So all the students like Shoptalk, all the students like they were very excited to hear from the speakers, and you were actually setting the stage, for the upcoming talks, because like balancing life is kind of the biggest has become the biggest hurdle. Like we always talk that there are talk about that there is so much competition, but just for an example, like when I used to wake up at 7:30 or 6:30, and then I used to start the day or simply like go for a walk. and you do the same thing at 4:30 or 5 in the morning, so you'll see the competition decreases. So you always have a choice. I think it that way.
Always.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I think you'll agree on that.
Indeed. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was a great session with you.
Thank
Uh,
you. Hopefully, I didn't disappoint anyone. So, and I didn't bore anyone. Hopefully.
you
Yeah,
actually
we shall do
actually
something.
gave them the methodologies bit by bit and in
Yeah, like I told
very
you,
much easy
just
work.
because it, yeah, just like I told, just because it worked for me doesn't make it work for you. So I just gave you some ideas, some options. You have to weigh your options, find out what fits best for you, because you are your own main character in your life, and you write your own script. There's no director. Be your own director and your main character. You act out your part and write your parts yourself. Yes.
I think we don't have any questions for now. If like Shoptalk, can they connect with you if they want? I think
Surely. You can
you,
share with them my number
yeah, share.
or my Insta handle. Surely.
Insta handle or email ID
Yeah.
will share.
Sure.
So thank you so much, Saptak, for the wonderful session. It was truly refreshing to hear such an honest and grounded perspective on juggling dreams and deadlines. You didn't just talk about achievements, you gave us a BTS or behind the scenes look into the real and raw work, the discipline, the decision, and of course, the music that keeps it all alive. Coming back to this, just like from a personal point of view, like it was the 5th of April in the year 2023. Shoptalk had invited me to a session. Uh, Not a session, it was kind of a small concert. Um, like that was the day when I started to visualize life in a different way, because I was in my second year of graduation and at that time, and I was so stressed कि इसके बाद क्या होगा, कहाँ पे मास्टर्स करेंगे, PhD कहाँ पर करेंगे, and everything. So the people I saw there that day, they were so much into life, they were so much um, filled with the passion for the thing they're doing. So that actually kind of made me rethink that night कि क्या करना है, like am I doing the right thing, am I at the right place, and I started to figure out. So whatever work you go ahead in your life, make sure you feel passionate about doing that so that your job doesn't feel like a job. And like in today's time, mental health is becoming a concern day by day. Like cases are increasing. I don't need to talk about that. Everyone knows. So yeah, that was just an addition from my personal point of view. And
Also, Agnish, if you give me a few seconds.
yeah, sure.
And sir, thank you, Saptak sir. Your story, your motivation was so insightful and lovely to hear. But
It means a lot. Thank you. Yeah.
and if few months back, honestly, the words you said, like for example, you told if you fail, you just keep on writing, like on the example of writing you said, you just
Yeah.
keep to do it again and again, and someday you'll get
Yeah. Yeah.
perfect in that. So honestly, every word you said is understood by someone who needs that motivation. For example, who failed, who are into that, who is struggling, and all. Not only you to any words, because few months back I was someone who never failed. Okay, my 19 years of life always succeeded, being a topper in school, college, bachelor's. Every success, everything was a success to me. And a few months back, I failed. It was not actually a correct failure, I would say, but that was something I kept it to my heart and I failed. And because I never failed, that was very new to me, and I didn't know how to deal with that. And kind of depressed. I was so depressed and felt that was the end. That was the life, and I cannot see anything. It was everything dark, and I was like, no future ahead. Everything's done. My life is done. And today, fast forward 3 months, I laugh at my words. I laugh how I cried on my prayer mat, sitting there, crying my heart out, calling out to God, why did you do this? Why did you, made me feel this? And actually, today I say that was a great thing happened to me because after few weeks, I said that was not the end. Come on, there must be something. This is, an opportunity. You are a human. God, gave birth to you, and I just started. And honestly, then first thing I joined BSL, Yukti, and then before that I always like this doesn't fit to me. This opportunity is not for me. Maybe why I need that. But after that I was like, let's just do something. Let's just explore things. And I joined VSL. There I learned a lot of things, honestly. And then slowly, slowly, I started exploring. You said passion, right? I love writing as well, writing in sciences specifically, or pointing out my ideology towards something uh, on all the perspectives and reading literature, reading books, and all. So I started exploring that, and now 3 months fast forward, I just think there's a lot more life has to offer. Life is never meant to be perfect, right? It's just you're imperfect, no one is perfect, not you, not me, no one is perfect. We're just learning. And honestly, I learned that the hard way, but that first stumbling block of my life, at the I think initial stage of my career, taught me that whatever you think, it it doesn't mean it will happen the way you thought. There should always be a room for your failures. You should be ready for that. And I learned it at my early age, actually. Not a biggest failure, but I think that failure, first failure, that will be in my head, just in my heart, in my head, and I'll be ready for any failure. So actually, I think failures are your teachers. You learn from it, and it keeps you reminding that the step you're going to take is actually you do not know its future. You do not know right anything. So you'll always be ready to face anything, and you'll always be ready to learn and improve yourself. And so that was thing when you said nothing is perfect. Motivation. I do not know if I heard you 3 months back, I would have not understand a single word because I haven't been through that. I haven't been through the failure or whatever you spoke. And so something you just understand when you are in that situation. If if you feel a heartbreak, then you'll understand the pain and that all that shairi, in India, shairi is very famous. Unless you feel that, you do not feel that shairi. You just laugh and hear and leave. So I heard it, I understood now that, yeah, failure is actually what make you understand each and every word quoted by the author, by the shire, or whoever it is. So unless you're in that shoes, you do not understand a single bit of anything written and said to you. So yeah, was my story. I think I took a lot of time, but something.
No, not at all.
Your words, yeah, whatever you
expressed it so beautifully. You expressed it much better than me. I'm telling you this honestly, and I really hope that you somewhere in near future you inspire hundreds and thousands of people like this with your talk, because I truly was inspired by that what you just spoke. And even if I had heard you what you said right now in that time during my 2022 that time, so I would also not have understood you probably. Just another motivational video scroll through. No.
Yeah.
But right now, yeah, like you already said, when you are heartbroken, suddenly the lyrics of those songs that sound, much more deep, much deeper, much meaningful. The shayari, which you said, yeah. So once you go through that phase, you laugh at that. And I'm laughing about that night which I cried. But yeah, it wasn't that easy that time. So yeah, this is life, I guess. It just happens. And I started my speech that you can speak about life once you have lived through it. And because once you have lived one section of your life, you're standing at some high peak, you look beyond that, you have crossed that road there, and now you can talk about it, not while crossing the road. You don't get that view, that aerial view from above. Yeah,
Yes,
that's it.
sir, that's true. And also looking at someone, I do have inspiration. I want to be that scientist, cross him or be that
Yeah,
state. That's beautiful. That's ideology or your dream, your passion is beautiful. But your path is your path. Whatever he says, the scientists say, you
yeah,
follow this,
yeah,
you'll become me. But you cannot become that.
yeah,
Your
yeah.
path is different. Your struggles are different.
And you
So you
shouldn't become
cannot
that
be
also.
someone. Yes.
Yeah, you shouldn't be someone also. You shouldn't try to be someone, because what's your story? I'd like to love to people who love to know your story, because my story I've already told people. So I'm interested to read your story, which would be a bestseller very soon.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
And yeah, it was really
yeah.
an insightful evening.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you for sharing your thoughts.
Thank you, Sophia. Just to inform you, like Saptak, Sophia, like is one of our most, like you can say, best students we have received through the internship. Like she wrote me a mail on the very first day that we had a specific logo, and the way she expresses her thoughts, that is um, very much appreciable. And I definitely wish you the best, Sophia, for your future. Now,
Thank you again.
yeah, you're welcome. Moving forward, um, I think we will be wrapping up the session. Yeah. So thank you to all our attendees for being such a great audience. Your energy, your questions, and the discussions we had, um, I think they definitely added some value to your life. And this presence which we had today, this made this conversation feel more like a community than a webinar. A huge shout out to the Biosetup Life Sciences team as well, all the teams for organizing tonight's thoughtful session. We hope this inspired you to look beyond the traditional boxes and explore your own mix of talents with confidence. So let this session be a reminder, your passions, your experience, and your personal touches. That's the real story. Your degree is just the bottom baseline. You can always write your own story. Go beyond and stay curious, stay creative. We'll see you in the next session. Take care and have a great rest of the day ahead. Thank you so much, everyone.
Good night. Thank you so much for